Hey guys, welcome to Tech Connect. I'm Rivers, and today I want to talk to you about the best gear to improve your YouTube channel and make your videos look great. I already made a video showing the basic gear to start a YouTube channel. Now I want to show you some more advanced gear to take your YouTube channel to the next level and increase your video quality and make your production easier as well. So first, a little bit about me. I've been doing YouTube for over 4 years. I have over 62,000 subscribers, and my channel is a review channel where I work on electronics, camera gear, media players, phones, things like that. So I get to use a lot of video production equipment, and I'm going to show you what things I found work best for me. Before we get started, I want to let you know that I'll have links to all the hardware in this video in the description down below. Let's start off with lighting. Every video needs good lighting. I don't care how good your camera is. They always talk about low light, but you need a well-lit set to make it look really nice. So what I have are called soft boxes, and they basically aim all the light in one direction, which works awesome. The ones I got at the beginning of my channel, I'm still using them because they work so well. I've just got a few more of them now. But it comes with a compact fluorescent light inside, and it's like a huge one, like a 40-watt bulb, which is like a 500-watt equivalent. But it's even not bright enough, and so I ended up getting one of these guys, which is an LED bulb that goes inside there, and that's even brighter. And then you can also hook this to a dimmer or something like that if you want. But this guy works great. It's a 5500K, which is the white balance, so you can set in your camera that 5500K and have it like a consistent white balance on there. So the soft boxes work great, and you can even fold them up really small and put them into storage. So if you wanted to store them in your closet or something like that, you can use them for that as well. Okay, now we're going to talk about probably the most important thing for making good videos, and that is a good camera. In my last video I said you could use a smartphone for your camera, and that is a good camera to get you started, especially some of the newer phones are pretty nice. But really, if you want to have good quality videos, you're going to have to get a nice camera. And I'm talking something from the $500 to $1,000 range to get you really good quality, and that will last you a long time, probably up until you get 100,000 YouTube subscribers or so. So you're definitely gonna wanna get a good camera, and I've used quite a few of them, and I'll show you some of my favorites right here. So first up, this is probably the most versatile camera that you can get right here. It's called the Sony AX53. It has awesome video quality, looks great indoors, which some cameras have issues with the color balance indoors, but this one looks great indoors and outdoors. It just nails the shot every time. It's always in focus, and it's got what's called balanced optical steady shot, and that's where the lens and the image sensor block all move independently of the outside of the camera. So if you're taking this outdoors, it's also nice and steady. I use it mostly for studio, but occasionally on vacations and things like that, and it just does such an awesome job stabilizing your footage. It's the best thing you can get before a gimbal. So this camera has a microphone input, headphone output, which is important, plus 20x zoom, so it's really versatile. But the downside is it's kind of mostly automatic. You can lock in the exposure and things like that, but it's mostly automatic. Still, if you just want something that's headache-free, this guy is your best bet. Or some of the lower-end Sonys, but this is about $900 and it's awesome. Another really good choice for your YouTube videos is something like this guy right here. This thing is a DSLR, but it's really centered around video. I mean, it does everything. It can shoot 4K at 60 frames per second, 1080p at 180 frames per second, so you can do slow motion. This is the Panasonic GH5, by the way, and it is a great little camera that works mostly for video, but also great for still pictures. So for YouTube too, it's nice to have this flip out screen so you can see what you're doing. And then it can also go in all sorts of different directions too. So you can look down at it, up at it. Great camera, and the image quality off this is really nice. Plus there's a million settings in here if you want to tweak like the color, the way it focuses. I mean, there's a million different things you can set in here. So this one's like less automatic, but you could end up with higher quality once you tweak everything the way you want to. But the video quality itself is just really, really nice. And another camera that I'd recommend is the Sony A6500, and it's actually the one that I'm shooting this video with right now. It just nails the color, and the video just looks really realistic with it. I love the camera. It has lightning fast focus, and the video quality is awesome. It's really, really good. When you shoot 4K in full sensor mode, what it does is it actually shoots the video in 6K, then downsamples it to 4K, and so even when you like zoom way in on the video, it looks like ultra sharp and clear. And actually the Panasonic does that to some extent too, and it's probably one of the other cameras that have the best video quality out there right now, short of like a $5,000 or $6,000 camera. So I highly recommend the A6500. It's got IBIS or in-body image stabilization, so the sensor basically moves around to compensate for shake, so that's great for video and also for stills. It's just a really good camera, and it's about $1,300 plus a lens, which would probably be about $700 for a good one, $800. And then it doesn't have the front-facing screen, but there are some workarounds. Like right now I've actually got a phone mounted on top of it with a cheap little adapter that I'll link to in the description down below. So next up after video, probably the most important thing is your audio quality. And a lot of YouTubers try to kind of skimp on the audio and just get by with like cheap microphones and just the camera's built-in microphone. And that's the sure way to make your video look amateur, is to have echoey bad audio. So what I'd recommend at this point, you're coming up off of a smartphone, is to go with something like this guy right here. This is the Rode VideoMic Pro R. There's also a regular Pro, but the R basically has these little shock mounts made out of plastic right here to keep it from making any noise if it's mounted on your camera. But this is really versatile because you can stick it on top of the camera. It's a shotgun mic, so it gets everything in front of the camera, but it screens out the noise on the side. So this is good for crowded areas, or maybe you're down on like a city street and you want to kind of filter out the noise. There's like some low pass filters on here, so it'll get that traffic noise out of there, and then you can like also boost up the volume and stuff like that on there. Also, you could mount this guy on a microphone stand, run a little extension cord to your camera, and get the camera nice and close to your face, even when you're shooting from like 5 feet away like I am here, and get the pro quality audio that you see like on Casey Neistat videos and things like that. Also, this guy is great for vlogging. Stick it on top of your camera so it's about this far away when it's working, and it gets really, really good audio as well. One thing I'd recommend for pretty much any microphone if you're going to take it out of the studio is this guy right here. They call it a windsock or a dead cat, but it just slides on here, and this keeps when wind hits it from making that rumbling noise that's really loud. So if you're going to be in a windy area, I definitely recommend one of these, or even just really outdoors at all. This foam just isn't quite enough on any of the microphones. So definitely get one of these windsocks to go with your Rode VideoMic Pro. So one more thing I thought I would mention quickly is if you are going to use your phone and you're going to use it outside, this little shotgun mic works great for it. Pop it into the microphone jack if you have one, so it wouldn't work on an iPhone 7, but it's like a shotgun mic, so it again filters out the noise on the sides, and it just gets you talking, so you get really good audio if it's like noisy out, if you're in a crowded area. And then it also comes with a windsock, so you can pop that on there, and when you're outdoors, you're moving and there's wind blowing, this is going to help a ton too. So at this point in your video production, you're gonna be needing a narration microphone a lot of the time also. And so what I would recommend is something like a Blue Yeti with a condenser microphone, or maybe if you're going portable like with a laptop, something like this guy right here. This guy is made by a company called Samsung, and it is actually a condenser microphone, but it's like really portable. Like I take this to CES all the time so I can edit on a laptop. So you've got this guy right here, you can plug it in with USB to your laptop, and then you can set it next to the laptop, or you can clip it on top of the laptop so it's right there by your face. And that's key with all microphones, is getting them about a foot away from your mouth, 2 feet max. That's how you get the really good quality audio, no matter what microphone you're using. Also for audio, you may be out and around. If you want to get the best audio, I kind of recommend getting one of these wireless lapel microphone systems. This guy is by Sennheiser, and it sounds awesome. Like, I mean, this mic alone costs like $125. It's an awesome mic system. The whole thing costs like $600, but it's really worth it if you're gonna be moving around. I mean, you could do prank videos. You can go a couple hundred feet away from it and be talking, and it'll pick up the audio. These are awesome for all kinds of things. So I'll put a link to these, and then also there's a Rode VideoMic system that's like about $400. It's pretty good too. I'll put that in the description as well. I'd recommend either one of these a lot if you need a lapel mic though. So you've been doing YouTube for a while, and you probably have a cheap, inexpensive tripod. It's time to move up to a workhorse tripod like this guy. This guy's made by Manfrotto. It's a huge tripod. It can go up to 6 feet high or down to about 1.5 feet or 2 feet. It's a really versatile tripod, and I'd recommend getting something like this. This is what I use in the studio. It just stays at home all the time. I don't take it anywhere, but it's awesome. Look at this. You can move this up and down. You can push this button on the bottom here, and then you can tilt this out like this. So if you want to come down over some of your products, it works really good for that too. So definitely get a heavy duty tripod for your studio. And then if you're doing like travel videos and stuff like that, having a tripod really sets you apart because so many people just carry around this shaky camera and you can't stand to watch it sometimes. So I recommend if you're gonna be doing a travel video, get something like this guy right here. This is a Manfrotto Be-Free, and it's super compact and lightweight, so you can just pop it right into your backpack and go. And you've got about a 4.5 foot tripod with this. It actually folds down even smaller, but I put this video fluid head on here so I can get those smooth panning shots, you know? So this guy can come out like this, but otherwise the legs could fold all the way up like this, and it could be even smaller for travel. Oh yeah, speaking of secondary tripods, on this guy I added a quick release head here, and this is also for Manfrotto plates. It's probably the most common one. It's actually this guy right here. You can basically put it on anything that a camera can mount to. So that way you can quickly add a camera anytime you want. Just like click it in and go. It's like so fast. So I'd highly recommend one of these Manfrotto quick releases. Just get it for everything. That way you have one plate on the bottom of every camera and it goes to any tripod. Okay, and now I just want to tell you a couple quick accessories that I think are really nice to have. This little video light is awesome. It's by Aperture, and it's got a rechargeable battery built inside, and it just mounts on top of your camera, and like, I use it all the time, even in the studio, like to get underneath a counter or something. It's hard to get these big soft boxes to shine under there, and so I'll stick this on top of my camera for some added light, and look at that, it's just the brightest little thing. It's sweet. And you can go even brighter, or you can also dim it down, because sometimes if you want to be talking to it, you don't want to be looking at this crazy bright light while you're on camera. But I highly recommend one of these guys here. It comes in handy all the time. Also, at this point, you're doing a lot of videos. At some point, you are going to need an action camera. So I've got this little Polaroid guy just to get it down into small spaces. Sometimes I need to take a video down there. Just get something. A GoPro's great. I mean, that's a really good camera. It's a little more expensive than everything else, but it's a good camera. If you want to spend a little less, I'll have a link to a couple cheaper ones that do also really good video quality. Another thing I need to mention is video editing programs. I've been using Adobe Premiere Pro for a while now, and it's really awesome. The video quality is great, it has so many features, but it's really expensive. So there's also Final Cut Pro, which is $200 or $300, and then you also have to buy a MacBook or Mac, so that's kind of expensive too. What I've been recommending to people still, even I use this even when I had 30,000 subscribers, is Video Studio. I had used X7, X8, but now they have X9 out. And this guy is actually a pretty good program. It gets your basic edits, it's got transitions, it's got text effects. And one of the coolest things it's got is actually something called Smart Proxy. That's where you have like, say, a large file, like a 4K video, and your computer's like not that fast, so it's kind of like, it's really hard to edit because it's like every time you just try to scrub or anything. This guy will make a smaller version of that file that you can edit, so it's nice and smooth and you can edit quickly. And then when it renders it out, it uses the high resolution version and you render out a nice 4K file. It's got a lot of other cool things too, like stabilization that actually works, I think, better than Adobe's, motion tracking and things like that. It's actually really inexpensive, usually under $100. I got this guy for just a steal, and I'll put a link where you can get a good deal on it as well. And last but not least, an accessory I recommend is some portable batteries. These just come in handy for all kinds of things. Powering your camera, like the A6500 can be powered via USB with these guys. This one is actually a portable charger and battery, so you can just plug it in, charge off the wall. You got 2 ports, charge your camera at night, you know, so you're ready to go the next day. They're so useful, especially when you're out. Like I went camping, didn't have any electricity for a few days. This is like totally the way to go. Okay guys, I'll have links to all this hardware in the video description down below. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, it helps me out a ton. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel so you can see more videos like this. Thanks again for watching, and as always, aloha.